What if I told you the secret to becoming a millionaire isn't in your wallet, but in your identity, not your net worth, not your bank statement, but how you think, speak, move, and act before the money ever arrives? Because here's the truth. The universe doesn't reward wanting. It responds to alignment. And when you show up as the person who already owns that life, life starts showing up for you. This is not about pretending. It's not fake it till you make it. This is embodiment, identity, inner wealth before outer riches. Today I'm breaking down how to act like a millionaire before the money, the mindset, the energy, the daily shifts. Let's get into it. Most people think wealth starts with strategy, or saving, or stocks. But it actually starts with something much simpler and more powerful. Your identity. Your self-concept dictates how you behave, and how you behave shapes your results. If you believe you're just surviving, you'll act like it. You'll make choices from fear. You'll say yes when you mean no. You'll settle for scraps and call it humility. But when you become someone who sees themselves as powerful, capable, worthy, your actions change. You stop begging life for breadcrumbs, and you start building your banquet. Millionaire mindset shift. Stop thinking, I'll act like a millionaire when I have the money. Start thinking, I'll get the money by acting like a millionaire. This is what I call embodied wealth. It's when your nervous system, your habits, and your vision all speak the same language: abundance. Let's get practical. You don't need to have $1 million to start living like someone who does. But you do need to install the habits that millionaires live by daily. 1. Decision-making with certainty. Millionaires don't waffle. They don't ask 10 people for permission. They know what they want. They trust their instincts, and they take action without needing everything to be perfect. Say this to yourself: I decide, I act, I adjust, but I don't delay. 2. Protect your energy. Your time and focus are your most valuable currencies. Millionaires are ruthless with their energy. They say no more than they say yes. They protect their mornings. They invest in their peace. Ask yourself, does this give me energy or drain it? If it drains you, it's too expensive. 3. Move with intention. Millionaires don't rush. They're not hustling to prove something. They move with presence, precision, purpose. Every step they take has weight because it's rooted in who they are, not what they fear, because it's not luck. It's embodiment. And here's the part no one really talks about. Sometimes the hardest part of acting like a millionaire before the money is dealing with the discomfort that comes with it. You'll outgrow environments. You'll notice some friends pull away because you're no longer playing small. You'll experience internal friction because stepping into a new identity requires letting go of old survival patterns. You might feel imposter syndrome creep in. You'll ask yourself, who am I to live like this when I still don't have the results? But let me be clear, this is the price of transformation. Growth is uncomfortable not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're doing it right. Think of a seed becoming a tree. There's pressure, cracks, a breaking of the shell, but it's all part of the design. When you hold the line and keep showing up as your future self, even when no one's watching, especially then, you're telling the universe, I'm serious, I'm ready. I'm no longer available for the version of me that settles. This inner tension is sacred. It means you're no longer operating on autopilot. You're conscious, you're intentional, you're becoming. And with every decision you make that aligns with that next level identity, the gap between where you are and where you want to be begins to collapse. So if you're feeling that friction right now, don't run from it. Lean into it. Honor it, because it means you're on the edge of something powerful. Here's one of the biggest shifts of all. Millionaires set standards, not just goals. Goals are what you want. Standards are what you allow. When you raise your standard, you change the game. You no longer tolerate chaos, excuses, being disrespected, being underpaid. You walk like someone who knows their worth even if the world hasn't caught up yet. You speak with clarity, you show up with purpose. You stop negotiating with mediocrity. Your life will rise to the level of your standards, not your dreams. Ask yourself, what would the future millionaire version of me no longer tolerate? What boundary would they set today? What would they do differently even if no one was watching? And then start doing that. Millionaires curate their space like their future depends on it, because it does. Surroundings affect your nervous system. Energy is everything. Clear your clutter. Elevate your environment. Get around people who stretch you, not people who drain you. Even if you're not rich, yet act like someone whose presence is rich. How? Your posture, your attention, your conversation. Hold yourself like someone who brings value just by walking into a room. So how do you act like a millionaire before the money? You become the version of you that already knows it's done. You walk in faith. You show up with power. You align your energy, choices, and habits with the life you're creating, not the life you're escaping. Because money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies who you already decided to be. So decide now. Decide boldly. Decide daily. And remember, your future self is already cheering you on.